Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. We're putting on our chef's coats for a professional culinary masterclass focused entirely on highly efficient, absolutely flavorful seafood preparation. If you love seafood but, kind of feel intimidated by the cooking times or delicate textures, you are exactly in the right place. We're going to analyze a collection of specific, unbelievably fast recipes and break down the exact techniques that make them work. We're talking searing, steaming, building rapid pan sauces, and expertly balancing bold flavors.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our syllabus for today's lesson. First up, the quick preparation category. Then, balancing spice and citrus. Third, building rich pan sauces. After that, pantry-friendly patties, and we'll wrap up with sides and pairings.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the quick preparation category.
As a culinary instructor, one of the absolutely most important things I can teach you is to track your precise cooking seconds. I mean it, seconds matter, especially with seafood. These recipes prioritize incredible speed. Take the sweet salmon, it requires an initial sear of literally just 40 seconds on high heat. The tomato garlic shrimp, that initial sauté is only 30 seconds before you're tossing in aromatics for another 30 seconds. Even the salmon tamale filling only needs a quick 5-minute sauté of red onions before mixing it with the raw salmon. The efficiency here is just off the charts.
Let's break down that sweet salmon pan searing technique just a bit further, because this is totally crucial for mastering delicate fish textures. So you start by seasoning the fillets and placing them skin side down in hot olive oil over high heat for exactly 40 seconds. This intense, immediate heat, that's what locks in those healthy fats and creates a gorgeous crust. Then you step the heat down to mid-high for 3 minutes, flip the fillets over, and finish them off for 2 minutes. It is a precisely timed 5-minute and 40-second masterclass in temperature control.
Now, you might be wondering, wait, how do tamales fit into a quick prep category? Well, the genius of the salmon tamales recipe really lies in its rapid assembly. You aren't slow cooking a filling for hours on end. Nope, you just soften your onions for 5 minutes, mix them with your raw diced salmon, fresh chilies, and cilantro, and then scoop that fresh filling directly into your flattened, corn-based masa harina dough. From there, the technique shifts to quick steaming. Just wrap them up and steam them right over boiling water for about 15 minutes. It's a remarkably fast route to some seriously complex flavors.
Across all these fast prep recipes, notice the specific ingredients being prioritized here. We're beautifully utilizing healthy fats from extra virgin olive oil, plus the rich oils that are naturally present in raw salmon fillets. And on the leaner side, we have quick-cooking proteins like small peeled shrimps and larger shelled shrimps. By pairing these specific proteins with clean fats like olive oil, the high-heat cooking methods we just went over, they work absolutely perfectly.
Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds. Balancing spice and citrus.
In a professional kitchen, balancing flavors is everything. It's the whole shebang. The shrimp and tomato garlic sauce recipe is a textbook example of this. You've got a 1/4 cup of Mexican lime juice acting as your acid, which cuts straight through the richness of the olive oil and that dense tomato puree. But here's the magic. That acidity is explicitly designed to interact with 2 stemmed, seeded, and minced jalapenos. The bright citrus notes tame the intense heat of the chilies, creating a perfectly rounded, super vibrant flavor profile right there in the pan.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how we track doneness. These recipes rely on direct visual cues, depending on the heat level and the size of your protein. For the small peeled shrimp in that high-heat tomato garlic recipe, the indicator is a really rapid change, just 30 seconds until they turn opaque in color. But for the large shrimp in the mustard cream sauce, cooked over slightly lower, mid-high heat, the recipe specifically calls for about 5 minutes until they turn a distinct pink in color. Paying close attention to these visual shifts ensures you will literally never overcook these delicate proteins again. To maximize flavor without adding a bunch of substantial prep or cooking time, these recipes lean heavily on fresh, aromatic veggies. Finely shredded cabbage and fresh cilantro are tossed into the tomato garlic shrimp in the very last minute of cooking. Sliced scallions and minced red onion provide immediate, bright aromatics to our salmon dishes. These fresh additions elevate the final plates immensely. I mean, they're providing crunch, color, and vibrancy with just a few seconds of knife work.
All right, moving on to Section 3, building rich pan sauces.
Deglazing is a foundational culinary skill, and the sweet salmon recipe walks us through the exact workflow beautifully. So after you remove your seared salmon fillets, your pan is left with these intensely flavorful brown bits, right? You immediately add your scallions and thick chunks of ginger to that same hot pan. Then, the magic happens. You pour in a quarter cup of white wine to deglaze, basically scraping up all that concentrated flavor. Finally, you add a mixture of sugar, water, and soy sauce, bringing it all to a rapid boil to reduce it into a sweet, complex syrup before you return the salmon to the pan to simmer.
We see a similar but definitely richer layering of flavors in the shrimp in mustard cream sauce. You sauté a minced shallot, cook your large shrimp, and then pull them out. Once again, you hit those leftover drippings with dry white wine, letting it cook and reduce for about 2 minutes over mid-heat. This concentrates the wine's flavor and cooks off the harsh alcohol. Only after that reduction do you introduce the rich dairy elements. We're talking a tablespoon of seeded Dijon mustard and a half cup of heavy whipped cream. It's truly a masterclass in building depth.
Now, while most of these pan sauces are built in just 2 or 3 minutes, our southern shrimp sauce requires exactly 15 minutes. After sautéing the shrimp in butter, you add cream of shrimp soup, sour cream, paprika, garlic seasoning, and a dash of Tabasco. Because you're working with denser dairy bases here, you have to drop the temperature down. Let it simmer over low heat for 15 minutes. This allows those deep, comforting flavors to meld together perfectly without breaking the dairy.
Let's transition to Section 4, Pantry-Friendly Patties.
So the crucial point here is that high-quality seafood techniques don't always require an expensive trip to the fishmonger. Just look at the base for these tuna patties. It uses affordable, shelf-stable ingredients you probably already have. A 4-ounce can of tuna, a quarter can of cream of mushroom soup for moisture, and a large egg acting as a binder. And instead of using fancy breadcrumbs for the interior, it calls for a half cup of instant oats. It's a brilliant pantry swap that gives the patties structure and a really great bite.
And this brilliantly illustrates the final crucial step for this pantry recipe. Once you've shaped your 8 patties, you roll the exterior in cracker crumbs and fry them directly in heated butter. Actually, frying that cracker crumb coating in butter, rather than just a neutral oil, ensures a deeply golden, rich, and incredibly crispy exterior texture. It completely transforms these humble canned and boxed ingredients into a restaurant-worthy dish.
Finally, let's wrap up with Section 5, Sides and Final Pairings.
Because we spend so much time building these absolutely incredible pan sauces, the grain base you choose is vital. Cooked rice acts as the perfect starchy canvas to soak up all that flavor. The tomato garlic shrimp is plated beautifully alongside the rice, garnished with fresh sections of Mexican lime so guests can adjust the citrus level themselves. The southern shrimp sauce, on the other hand, that's a much thicker, heavier, comfort-style dish, and the instructions specifically tell us to serve that rich, creamy mixture directly on top of the cooked rice.
Wow! Okay, we have covered a lot of ground today. From the exact seconds needed to sear a salmon fillet, to the chemistry of balancing sharp lime juice against fiery jalapenos, all the way to the beautiful art of deglazing a pan with white wine. These aren't just recipes, guys. They are professional, highly efficient techniques that you can use over and over again in your own cooking. So, I leave you with this. Which of these rapid techniques, the high-heat sear, the quick steam, or the rich pan sauce build, will you master in your kitchen tonight? Keep experimenting and enjoy the delicious results.